I'm John Batchelor. Malcolm Hoenlein, Conference of Presidents, Major American Jewish Organizations, is with me. Immediately, we begin with the Iranian election. Pending these weeks, the choice by the Supreme Leader makes it very clear that this is less an election than a fiction in order to choose the president to go forward in its suspect nuclear weapons program and its predation. Malcolm, Rafsanjani is eliminated after it becomes clear that Secretary Kerry had indicated he would be the choice of the United States. What's left, I'm told, significantly, there are a number of candidates. Jalili, a former negotiator for the suspect nuclear weapons program, and Velaity, the former foreign minister, a man who's implicated in the 1994 Argentinian bombing. This looks like Iran is putting its militant face forward. Is that how you read this?
Absolutely. I think that, certainly the decision is Khamenei's. The Guardian Council is his appointees, and they don't act except by his guidance. You have 8 candidates out of more than 600 selected. 2 of them, Mohsen Rizai and Velaity, are both people who were wanted in regard to the attack in Argentina, as is the current defense minister. I think Jalili may have an advantage in that he's said to have 3 qualities that are highly valued. 1 is a slavish commitment to Khamenei. 2 is ideological loyalty and to the Islamic ideology. And 3rd is very limited intellect. So those are the 3 qualities, and what makes him attractive to the Supreme Leader. With the 2 off, I mean, I think it's good news that Rafsanjani is off, because had he been elected, everybody would have said, we've got to see a change. We have to give him open a new challenge. And when in fact he is the father of the nuclear program and guilty of most of the progress that was made until now. So while this election he was the one who excited people. Now you see that it's either going to be, I think, between Jalili and Velaity. And
going to the 94 report, within these last days, this is Dateline May 21st, reported by Radio Free Europe. It's everywhere reported. The Iranian diplomat chargé d'affaires in Buenos Aires announced signing that Iran has agreed to a memo of understanding between Tehran and Buenos Aires to form a truth commission, that's in quotes. It must sound especially ironic and Farsi, to investigate the 1994 bombing, mass murder of a Jewish center in Buenos Aires. There will not be, according to this MOU, Argentinians or Iranians on the commission. President Kirchner in Argentina has said the agreement right now allows Argentinian court officials to question Iranian suspects. However, Malcolm, my interpretation of this is a fiction to allow Velaity to become eligible for the presidency of Iran without being on an international indictment. And this is precisely what we've talked about these many months, a deal that would be concocted in exchange of favors or money between Buenos Aires and Tehran.
That's the allegation, is that Kirchner has been taking money, that they switched from Venezuela to Argentina with the fall of death of Chavez, the fear that there might be changes there. So they had the alternative. Beyond that, there have been allegations of financial relationships for some time. I think this is of great concern, and especially at a time when we see the IEA report indicating that Iran is expanding its program, something we've talked about for a long time. You notice that they finally mentioned Parchin and the fact that they are paving over this area, which was, as we reported, maybe a year ago already,
more than that,
for where they were doing the experiments and the testing now, and they cleansed the area. Now the latest satellite photos that IEA even acknowledges show that they've paved over and are trying to cover it up. At the same time, we know that they're expanding Natanz. They added 700 high-tech centrifuges. The IEA estimates there are 13,000 centrifuges operating. The new ones centrifuges are 5 times faster. That the goal, according to some officials now, is 100 bombs, that they want to produce 20 to 30 a year, that this is a bigger program than Pakistan or North Korea's, that the 6-year stalemate described in the IEA report, I think is significant. And for the first time, the focus on the plutonium enrichment plant for a nuclear weapon using plutonium is first time really highlighted in the IAEA report. It's built in Iraq. We've known about it for a long time and wondered always why it was hardly mentioned. Now they're taking it much more seriously.
Quickly, Syria. We will discuss this. However, right now there is a report that the fighting in Syria is spilling into Lebanon. We know this, Malcolm. We described the fact that the Syrian civil war, darkness visible, is pulling in all of the neighboring states. And Lebanon, never a paragon of stability, is now it's beyond risk. It is now in the war. Hezbollah's reinforcements have allowed the Assad regime to overwhelm the mercenaries, the hirelings, the Free Syrian Army. And the worst possible nightmare is in front of us on the Golan Heights and throughout Syria, that the two forces that are battling are both cutthroats and unacceptable to rule a people.
What we're seeing is a splits amongst the rebel groups. Al-Nusra growing to estimates past 6,000 now.
That's Al-Qaeda.
The Al-Qaeda from Iraq getting money from that, which has the public exposure of that has divided even some of their own followers because they don't like Al-Qaeda, but they wanted to go with Al-Nusra because they actually pay. The Syrian Free Army didn't. But number one, we're seeing progress by the Assad-backed forces, especially in the suburbs of Damascus, but also on the coastal road and Qasr, which are big turning point.
A lot of throat cutting, right?
And the new weapons from Russia are emboldening Assad. The estimates I see shifting on the part of some key analysts who believe that Assad can at least stalemate. He can't win, but they can stalemate. And the delivery will take place soon, we believe, even of the S-300, which has been described repeatedly as a game
the
changer.
The S-300 changes the calculation for Israel's ability to interdict a ground-to-ground missile.
And there's no functional command amongst the rebels, and you don't have context, for instance, between the militia and the outside forces. So what we're seeing is ethnic cleansing in areas. They're preparing the Alawite clear area along the border, but Assad said he will live and die in Damascus, and right now he's holding out and strengthening his position, and it backed by Hezbollah with increasing numbers and Iranian forces themselves. So we are moving towards a much more intensive conflict.
Malcolm Hoenlein, Conference of Presidents, Major American Jewish Organizations. I'm John Batchelor.